Hi there, my name is Hansa, and I would like to welcome you to my new video from series of building Bumblebee drum sander here in the top tier DIY YouTube channel, where we take on creative projects that give old materials a new life. Today, we're diving into something special, transforming old kitchen cabinets into drum sander covers. Let's see if I can pull it off. Imagine this. I'm standing in my workshop, surrounded by tools and a pile of old particleboard kitchen cabinets that have long outlived their original purpose and would otherwise end up in a landfill. When I picture the landfill, I see huge mounds of waste filled with discarded furniture like these cabinets, just sitting there, adding to the growing problem. I know that if I were to throw these cabinets away, they'd simply join the endless heaps of items left to deteriorate. At first glance, these cabinets look like ordinary, old pieces, scratched with a peeling veneer and edges that have lost their shine. But when I look closer, I can still see the potential in them. They're solid, still capable of holding up if treated right. And then it hit me, what if I gave these cabinets a second chance? Instead of tossing them out, what if I transformed them into something that would actually serve a purpose in my workshop? So, the first step in turning these cabinets into drum sander covers was to cut the particle board down to the right sizes. I started by ripping the particle board lengthwise on the table saw, using a blade with a high tooth count to ensure smooth, precise cuts. Working with particle board requires a bit of care to avoid chipping, so I took it slow, making sure each cut was clean and accurate. This gave me the primary pieces I'd need to start assembling the frame. The next step was to cut the pieces down to the exact lengths I needed. I switched over to the miter saw, which allowed me to make precise cross cuts and shorten each piece to the desired dimensions. With the miter saw, I could ensure that each cut was perfectly square, giving the frame solid, clean edges. This careful measuring and cutting set up each piece for a snug fit when assembling the cover. After cutting the pieces to the right length, the next step was to create the necessary grooves in each part. I went back to the table saw, adjusting the blade height and fence to make precise, even grooves in the particle board pieces. These grooves are essential for fitting each piece onto the finished metal frame. I took my time with each pass to ensure the grooves were clean and accurately placed for a perfect fit. Then it was time to cut out openings for the electronics, like the switch and the triac controller. I carefully measured and marked each location, then used a jigsaw to create the cutouts. To clean up the edges, I used a chisel and wood file, making sure everything was neat and smooth. These openings would allow easy access to the controls, ensuring that the electronics were securely mounted and easily reachable. The next step was to dowel and glue the finished panels onto both sides of the drum sander. I carefully lined up each panel, drilled holes for dowels, and applied wood glue to hold everything firmly in place. For extra strength, I also added screws to reinforce the joints, giving the whole setup solid support. This combination of dowels, glue, and screws ensured the panels were perfectly aligned and securely attached on both sides of the sander. It might seem like extra work, but these steps make the whole assembly strong and dependable. With the sanding drum reinstalled and the motor connected, the setup was fully assembled and ready for the next phase. I made sure each component was securely in place, checking the alignment of the motor, shaft, bearing housings, and all other components to ensure everything fit perfectly. To wrap up this part, I ran a quick test to confirm that everything was operating smoothly. While the drum will still need a final surface leveling, This test confirmed that the motor, shaft, and bearings were all properly aligned and functioning as expected. In the next phase, I'll also need to determine if the motor has enough power to handle the load under real working conditions. This sets us up perfectly for the next steps, which I'll cover in the following video. I'm excited to show you what's coming next as we continue building out this project. Thanks for watching this part of our Bumblebee drum sander build here on Top Tier DIY. I hope you enjoyed seeing how we transformed those old cabinets into something truly useful for the workshop. This project is a great reminder of how much potential can be found in materials we might otherwise throw away. In the next video, we'll be installing additional particle board elements that will serve as protection for the lift mechanism and add stability to the entire drum sander setup. We'll also be working on the placement of the lift mechanism in the upper part of the sander to ensure it's secure and functions smoothly. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. We've got more exciting builds and tips coming up. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, give it a thumbs up and drop a comment below to let me know what you think or if you have any questions. And as always, thanks for joining me on this DIY journey. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Let's keep building together.